Hello everyone, it's working. I think nobody will be there, but never know. Welcome everyone. So, I'll give just a few seconds. So, we are in live off during RPI, the first RPI Game Jam, the first since the pandemic. And we have two teams here. We have more, but we have two teams still alive. So I will try to look at their game. We are at, let's say, half of the jam, just a bit more than half. We might have some prototype or a few things to show you. So yeah, I will come to them before they. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to do a little bit of talking, and then go over to a computer that has some action going on. At the moment, my computer is downloading an updated version of the file. We are a group of 4 students from RPI, all different majors except for us. And we are doing Ludum Dare. I don't know how much you know about Ludum Dare.
Will be introduced, so not that much.
Okay, so Ludum Dare is a game jam event. We're doing a 48-hour version of it. So at 6 p.m. last evening, we got started with brainstorming and forming teams. And now from that point on, we had 48 hours to make a game. 4 hours into that game, well into the night tonight. Our game concept is a game about a character who is roller skating up a mountain. That may not make a whole lot of sense, and that's the point, is it's not meant to make a whole lot of sense. Our theme for this game jam is unstable. So the concept that we sort of have going on, that the game itself is the thing that is unstable, and so as you play the game, more and more elements become glitchy and start to not function exactly right and look weird, and the character starts to realize that what they're doing doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and slowly but surely the game falls apart until the very end the game is essentially unplayable. Whatever we decide happens to the character happens to the game. So at this point in our development process, we have been working on mostly getting things set up so that we can do a lot of level design. Different members of our teams have been working on different things, so I've been handling most programming in terms of character controller and working on enemies and their AI and stuff like that. Ben has been working a lot on level design and implementing a lot of the things that I have been making, and other members of our group have been working on.
It would be too complicated.
Chris has been our artist. He's doing an amazing job setting up the animations and drawing the tile sets that Ben is using to create the actual worlds. And then Ethan has been doing lots of different small odd jobs, lots of UI work. He's been working on the main menus, on the pause menus, on the options menus, and he's getting started on sound design right now. So at this point in the process, things are sort of starting to come together, and we're starting to have functional levels that we can play and hopefully start doing a little bit of play testing on before it's too early in the morning for anyone to be awake. So that's pretty much my spiel.
Before everything, do you have a name for that project?
Not yet. For the time being, we're calling it Project Mountain Skater, because that's what it is.
It will be
Project
how they will find your project.
The logo takes an hour.
There will be a name eventually.
Our name, really.
Yes, our team name is the Children of the Grid, because I was discussing with Ben something to do with tile sets and the creation of the level design, and I mentioned that one object didn't work properly because it was a child of a grid object, and then multiple members of our group pointed out that that was a great metal band's name. So our group is the Children of the Grid.
I will post the game. Do you think that
I think we probably will. We're on good pace right now, considering that we're over 24 hours in, but we spent like 9 hours of that sleeping and eating food and such. So now that things are starting to fall in place, and everyone sort of has their thing going on, we're at a point where it's mostly just making things flow more nicely together, creating transitions between levels, and sound design obviously has a lot to go, but we've been waiting on that until we can get a better sense of like what sounds would work in certain places. And from that point, it's mostly just adding whatever features we feel like need to be adding, switching to roller controls if we can, or implementing some sort of balance mechanic and more enemies and more types of levels and stuff like that.
when do
Well, in theory, you can play it now. We have a prototype of what most of level 1 will look like. So you can, the only part of the level that isn't fully implemented in terms of gameplay is the ending. It doesn't transition to the next scene, but you can play the level and you can run into characters and die. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will just look at the visual with Chris, if we can.
Say hi.
Yeah, sure. Hello. I'm artist, I guess. I got. Oh, what up? Off the part.
Yeah.
Start off like character. For this, I do a lot of complex, more realism kind of keeping it real simple. Like this is first draft. I'm trying to communicate because our on roller skates it's very slippery. And for the color palette, I'm using the Pico 8 color palette mainly because creating the color palette takes a lot of time that we don't have, and Pico 8 actually looks at first draft based, very simple. Then I give them more skills such as spikes or some stuff so you save it more speed, you rollerblade.
That's nice, but we don't have the back of the character because we see him most.
Yeah, we have the front and back right now.
Okay.
So I'm like deprioritizing sideways movement since our game. So right now I'm working on getting upward animation. So this basic animation I have,
Oh,
yeah, it's a lot of gesture.
that's good.
Trying to get it feel natural. A lot of what I was working on today, though, was the tile set. First level, which is you're going up a mountain. I left it vague in the pitch. Essentially, the mountain can have like a lot of different terrain, such as forest or Appalachia, snowy, volcano, and then those are like the three main things to aim for. And then the glitch aspect of them stable. I also have like a few game elements of capability. We get more assets into the game. We get to figure out what else incorporate time. But yeah, so it's like we have here walls here. These act as kill planes because it is somewhat auto-scroller. You can like really move upward, but the camera always moving at a. Then we have inner tiles. There's a other one. S tile set, but we found we weren't using it. Basic dirt pit. We found the pit assets were in a second tile set based on the time. The scale. Yeah, we're kind of trucking along. As soon as I get animation done with this, I'll probably work on another tile set. Maybe some normal enemy assets besides the stuff.
Another tile set, but why do you want to? Or another level?
Yeah, just the theming, because we're aiming for 5 or so levels, which feels like reasonable enough. We have like 4 main that would allow for like the glitch. Like, it's meant to be subtle to subtly transition. So 5 feels like a good or Shakespearean tragedy, beginning and end. So, kind of, that's just what I think of. That's a 5-act structure. That's how I think of it. So.
Why the character do want to climb the mountain?
In the pitch, I put he's trying to save his grandma. Little does he know he's in a game, so grandma's dubiously existing.
Okay.
The whole point of it is kind of the absurdity of the situation. So again, he's always getting up a mountain. There's gonna be may or may not be an avalanche that follows him up the mountain. It's this kind of stuff that we're trying to think.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Could we just see a bit of the menu, or you work on the sound, so it's not really visual.
Well, I was working on the songs before, but music, that's kind of on a impasse right now until Unity finish updating for the version we're using for everything else.
Okay, so it will be the surprise for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Thank you. And so, the next team we have here. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we see you. Okay, so what is your game about? What?
Our game is a.
Do you have a name?
We don't have a name yet.
It will be time to think about it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're working on a side-scrolling puzzle platformer that has challenging mechanical interaction, also solutions to the puzzles are a consequence of various power-ups you can acquire throughout the course of the level that give you different movement abilities, but also movement consequences. For example, there's like the fire where you can't stop moving, but you also get a burst of movement speed, so that way you can make certain jumps that you otherwise make. There's like the air element where you lose your standard control and you become a bubble instead that can move Mazda around, but you have very poor like stopping power, and if you bump into anything, you'll pop and have to start over. And generally, the flow of the game is a sequence of levels, left to right, and the whole time you're trying to avoid being a mad scientist overseeing you because you're an unstable particle that they're trying to observe. But you can hide from them by turning into these various elements. So the all-seeing eyes floating around the world trying to find you. You can avoid their vision by being an element. You can also bait them out by leaving a chemtrail that they're attracted to. That kind of gives them a trail towards what they think might be a particle. So in that way, you can bait them around, get past them while you use your. You can exchange your charges as an element in exchange for like a phase shift little teleport ability. Go back to being your particle self. There will be points where you're forced to make a decision between versus getting through a certain area by teleporting. And yeah, so there's lots of dichotomies and lots of interesting room for level design. We have yet to begin.
Do you have a prototype? Do you have?
Yeah,
Maybe just a technical prototype at this.
Yeah, we're almost done prototyping the character controllers. We just did a massive refactoring. Easier. Originally, we had like one character controller to which we're continuously adding like edge cases and conditions to. That was. We finished the fire, the air, and the water prototypes, and we're working on. The game currently isn't playable because there's like bugs. The Earth controller, but it can be playable. We're also going to be adding controls.
And do you have some visual of the character? Or?
I do. Maybe you.
Yeah, but I have to move the computer, so it's. So it seems a bit ambitious for Game Jam. Do you think that you will be able, you will have time to do all of this?
We've finished most of the core concepts.
Okay,
We wanted to dedicate all of tomorrow towards the level design aspect.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to be completely done programming by tonight.
This is the character design. This is
So you can see you here. So we don't.
okay. Almost got it. This is pixel art, so it may not look that charming when you up this scale, but when you are like you're in game and you have the glowing effect, it can make it really good. So this is not a good place to show. So probably in game showing it.
But yeah, with the movement.
Yeah, so we make some animation for the
but believe me,
player.
it's already really good.
Yeah, I think so.
Even
Yeah, and this the enemy, big eye guy. I don't know how to call it. Yeah, that's it. The main art piece that we have.
okay. And so the level designer is working. You have a level designer.
I
Like
think
normally you're
he'd
free.
probably be our primary level designer, but we're all kind of contributing to general design
Yeah. He's artist and level designer.
and also programmer. Done a lot of programming.
Okay.
I just do
Good
a
luck.
little bit of like the UI design.
Okay. Okay, good. And it's on what? It's on Godot? Godot?
It's in Godot. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. But when you have the name, you tell me. Like this, I could put. First, I will put the link on the description and so
Okay.
put the name on the video. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
So, yeah, we have normally two other projects, but they are not here tonight. So we'll end the stream now, and certainly I will show you tomorrow for the presentation. Like this, you will be able to see the evolution of the game. I wish you a good what time is it? A good evening, and certainly see you tomorrow. Bye.